the next best thing that ever happened to Shackley. And I'm excited about being a part of your growth because I see the philosophy of helping people. It's real. It's a real value that you uphold in your team. And the work ethic really is unmatched. That I've never seen someone come into Shackley at such a young age. I mean, besides myself, right? like, um, someone outside of myself. No, but I was forced into it. So here's the thing: Joe wasn't forced into this opportunity, and luckily, my mom had a lot of persistence in pushing me. And I'll tell you a little bit about how that started. But Joe and Tyler, they weren't forced, they weren't threatened into doing Shackley. So just to see the work ethic that they have. And growing their team and the vision that they have, it's incredible. So I'm totally inspired by it. And a little bit about myself is I'm currently not yet graduated from undergrad. And my goal is to become a Shackley Master Coordinator before graduating. And what that means is that a Master Coordinator has helped multiple people earn 6-figure incomes, 5-figure incomes, 4-figure incomes. And the way in which we earn the income is by helping people become healthier and live better. And we have created, not myself, but the company, starting from Dr. Shackley, has created an ecosystem of wellness, which is not just, thinking about one's health by taking supplementation, which we pioneered since 1915, but also in addition to the cleaning products that we use. And literally from head to toe, anything that someone needs, Shackley can provide. And another part is the community aspect. And so in earning a $200,000 a year income as a master coordinator, I believe that that's kind of a good start for someone who graduates from college. I don't know what you guys think, but to me, it feels like a good start, and it feels opposite than the students who have graduated into debt and have to take a $20,000 to $30,000 starting job. And not every story is like that, but I know the majority of the stories are that way. So, but I wasn't, this wasn't in my vision 6 years ago. Just my mom, I don't know if you know about Nari Vin. She is a powerhouse. She's from Cambodia. And so we have a very strong heritage. And I'm first generation American, which is a different perspective than my mom's perspective. She grew up really fighting for her life, fighting to live. And I didn't have to endure that. I wasn't conditioned to fight for my life. I was conditioned to succeed and surpass everything that she's ever done in her life. So others like me, who I'm sure you guys are not anything unlike myself, where your parents have high expectations for you, and so I felt that growing up. Also, my mom was a single mom, and that I think was a huge part of why we're so passionate about Shackley today, because in being a mom and daughter, we have been on a mission to bridge gaps between parents and their kids, because whether you're a first generation American or you've been born here, and each generation is the gaps are getting wider and wider and wider. And we believe that through health and earning capacity, through becoming healthier and feeling more energy, that you'll be able to then think about the relationships that you have with your parents. And so anyway, going back to why I'm not yet a graduated person at this moment is because I believe that there's an opportunity to show people that you can earn a living without your degree, but the education is valuable in that it gets to enrich you, and it gets to, you get to actually learn rather than going through the system in order to get a job. So I believe that the reason why someone chooses education first matters, that it's not the same all around. Give me one sec. I'm just gonna, for some reason, And then get a piece of tissue.
Tissue?
Oh, yeah, tissue?
Yeah. That's so true, though. You know,
Not-
like I went to school to freaking
Yeah.
wasn't to learn.
No.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I'm back. I don't want to take too much of your time, but that's my goal. My goal is to create leadership in my business so that when I graduate, I can set an example for my fellow peers and say, hey man, you know, this isn't the only option, but I don't hate on the people who do graduate because they finished something. They did what they wanted to do, right? So there are many, what I'm trying to say is that there are many different paths. And a lot of the young people feel like they're lost today when they're not really lost. They're just not experienced yet. And I believe that. And so there's a lot of, you know, there's more depression and anxiety than there ever was in today. And that has to do with, I think, the amount of privilege that we have and that we're not aware of, but also the direction and the guidance that we've had. It's just the education system doesn't match what's happening in today's world and how quickly things are moving. And so it, with Shaklee, it being a really old and rooted and historic company, still what of all the information that I've gathered throughout my 26 years of living is that there are the same principles that are applied day after day after day that make someone successful, that make someone happy, that make someone fulfilled. The same principles, just the tools are changing. And Shaklee recognizes that. So anyway, I don't think we would have ever seen Shaklee as an opportunity if my mom and I hadn't become homeless. So that, I know, I laugh when I say that. I didn't laugh this time because I just thought about how serious that was. But my mom lost everything in 2010, and it was my senior year of high school. So imagine being, you know, getting ready to go to college and then, you know, feeling like you have this whole path laid out for you. And then your mom loses everything. Basically, there was employee embezzlement, and she had invested a bunch of money into the business, had to liquidate all of our assets, including my education fund, to try and save the business because she didn't know that the employee was stealing hundreds and thousands of dollars from the business. So, you know, she put $6 million in and lost everything. We got our cars repoed. We lived in a 4-bedroom home, just the two of us, in a really great neighborhood in California. And there's my mom. And we moved from there to the ghetto in Long Beach, California. And so there are different parts of Long Beach, right? There's like the beach now where she now lives. And then there's like the not so good side where like struggle still happens. And so there were days where we didn't know where we were going to sleep because we couldn't afford the rent. And it was crazy. Like my senior year of high school, I was just running around trying to figure out like how to survive. And I barely graduated because I kept missing classes. You know, I was driving from hours and hours away, from staying with friends at friends' houses or staying at my dad's, who I've never lived with before. And I would have to wake up at like 4 a.m. to get to school by 7, but school didn't start until 8. So I would take a nap and then miss first period. And it was like, it was crazy, but you just do things that you have to do in the moment because you have to survive. So you don't really think about how much of a shift it was, right? You just like do what you need to do. So that was really hard. And my mom's health deteriorated during that time because of stress and because of all the inflammation that she's had over the years, being from Cambodia and living in refugee camps. And she had like really bad digestive issues that started to accumulate and accumulate and accumulate. And so I would see her in and out of the hospital and having to call the ambulance because she couldn't breathe. So I saw my mom's health really, really deteriorate. And then she started to realize, you know, with the grace of God, basically got down on her knees and prayed and said, I can't do this anymore. I need to, you know, I don't want a traditional business anymore. It's too much overhead, too much, you know, this and that, and I don't want to do what I used to do, and I want good health. I want my health back, because without her health, she has nothing. So my mom and I's relationship failed in that time. We had lots of conflict because we were both stressed. I mean, she sold her last piece of gold for me to buy a car, because our other cars got repoed. So I had like a $2,000 budget for a car, and I bought a Toyota Integra 1995. And the first week that I bought it, it got stolen. We found it. And then it got broken into twice, and my radio was like perfectly stolen. When I say that, I mean, like, I think the radio down the shop came and stole it, because they were like, it was done so professionally. But you know, it's like, you just laugh about it, 'cause, like, it happens. I mean, people steal your car. I mean, that's cool. So, I mean, and the ironic thing was that the guy who stole my car was actually going to the same place I was going to that day. I was like, dude, you could have asked me for a ride. Like, you ain't got to steal my car. So then I did like what I knew to do, was go to school. You know, I barely graduated high school. I went to community college right out of high school, and I started taking as many credits as I possibly could. And I didn't see my mom for a while. My mom was trying to put her life back together, and I was trying to start my life. So I went to go live with my father, who I hadn't lived with you know, ever. And he paid me $8 an hour to work at his restaurant. And I worked 12 hours a day when I didn't have school. When I did have school, I worked 8 hours a day. And I was only making enough money just to really get by, you know. And it's like, when you're in a family business, they pay you less and you work more. It's just how it is, you know, because you're part of the family. So I was eating chicken and rice all day. I was like unhealthy. I was stressed. And I went to go see my mom 6 months later, and she looked amazing, just incredible. And I was like, Mom, what happened? You know, why do you look so good? And she started throwing me vitalizers at the time, you know, the strips. And she just looked at me. She goes, look, like, this is why I'm so, you know, healthy. And I'm like, oh, it's okay. I don't need to take this. You know, it's for old people. I don't need this, right? I was already taking products from GNC, and I was cool. I went to the gym after work, but I looked terrible. I had no energy. My mom was running laps around me, like in the house, just like energetic. So I got to basically watch her kill it. Like 18 months, my mom broke every record Shaklee ever set, ever. And it was because her health had come back. It was because she was stronger than ever, and she had like saw this opportunity and never looked back. And I thought, man, my mom is impressive, but I didn't expect anything else from her. It was just something that I knew would happen, right? But then what I did realize was that she was making a lot of money now, right? So I saw her checkbook, and I saw all the checks that Shaklee had sent and they had printed out. And it started from like $600 to like $1,000 to like $8,000. And then all of a sudden I saw a check for $51,000 for a month. And I was like, Mom is rich. She can pay for my school now, right? I was like, yes. So I applied to transfer out of college, and I was like, you know, I can't really afford this, but now that my mom's rich, I'm just gonna ask her, right? So I go and I ask my mom, you know, I'm like all excited. I was like, I got into this really great school, like, you're gonna be so excited. And so I tell her this big news, and then she's like, you know what, Tiff, you got yourself in, you get yourself out. I was like, what? You're the worst Asian mom ever. Most Asian moms would sell their house, cars, and their other kids just to put one through college. You know what I mean? So I saw her attitude definitely change, but at the time I didn't realize she was giving me the opportunity to build my future on my own, the capability, the skills, the experience. I didn't see it that way. I said, my mom's just being greedy. She was being greedy. And so I said, okay, Mom, what do I have to do? And she said, well, you got to start taking Shaklee, because I don't care what degree you have from what school. It doesn't matter if your health is going to fail anyway, if you're going to look terrible anyway, if you're going to be, you know, unhealthy. Because she realized in her lifetime, every time that she lost her fortune, every time that she lost things that she built, it was because her health had failed. So then the idea of prevention started to seed in. And that was something I knew nothing about, because people kept saying, you know, when you get old, you get sick. You get old, you get sick. And that's what I thought happened. So I started school. My mom helped me for my first semester, but it was on the condition that I would start doing Shaklee. And I didn't do it. I came back looking worse. I don't know if you know how Shaklee is supposed to work, but you're supposed to take it and look better. But I let $5,000 worth of products expire, and I came back looking worse than I ever did. And my mom was pissed. She was so mad. She didn't let me walk through the door. She saw me and she's like, Tiff, if you don't get your act together, good luck paying for school next semester. You're on your own. And I was like, all right, dude, she's serious. And at the same time, my mom had looked better. I saw her, and in that moment, as she was yelling at me, and I was supposed to be really scared of her in that moment, I kept thinking, oh my God, my mom looks so good. Are those my jeans? Like, I just kept, and I was like, Mom, and these were 00 Abercrombie & Fitch jeans that I hadn't worn since I was in the 6th grade. Like, I couldn't fit it since I was in the 6th grade. And I was like, Mom, are those my jeans? Why are you wearing my jeans? And she's like, well, can you fit them? I'm like, no. So, you know, my mom's got jokes. But that's when I started to take it seriously, because I needed the money. So my journey has been very slow. It's very slow moving. But if I could do it all over again, I'd probably do it differently and listen to her the first time. But I didn't start buckling down until my college tuition was on the line. But when I started to take the business seriously, I grew it. I transformed. I lost 12 pounds in 90 days on Shaklee 180 turnaround, which I challenged. I didn't want it to work. So what I did was I did the 2 meals per day, metabolic boost, tea, but I ate anything I wanted for dinner, because my mom was like, you can eat anything you want for dinner, you know? And I was like, really? And I don't tell people that, you know, when I talk to my people, but she said, yeah, eat anything you want for dinner. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna challenge her. So I ate In-N-Out, Korean barbecue, literally buffets, anything I could get my hands on that was like the worst possible thing to eat. And I still lost 12 pounds, like, unfortunately. So it proved that it worked. And then I started to build my business, and I started to make enough money to pay for rent. I went on some Shaklee paid vacations, which I'm going on to in 2 days. And shifts started to happen in my brain when I started to see, like, money is something that always came and went in our family. That, like, my mom always had the capability to earn and lose and earn and lose. So, like, that wasn't a major issue for me, but at the time. But what I did see was when we went on these trips, the amount of people that she impacted through the work that she did, where, like, when we would go to dinner at the resort, first of all, Shaklee paid for everything, you know, the flight, the food, the drinks. It's always a 5-star resort. They take care of transportation. Literally, you bring nothing but your passport. And so I get there, and as we're going to dinner, the moment she walks out of the hotel room to the moment to, like, actually getting into the restaurant, sea of people will just, like, crowd her. Thank you so much, Neri, for believing in me, for allowing me to be a part of your business, and thank you so much for sharing the products, because now my husband this and my kids that and my grandma this. And it's like that made an impact and an impression on me. The fact that by setting an example, you can impact so many people that you didn't even know that you could. And so then I started to do more research, and I started to get more serious. And so I was doing like $1,500 a month, maybe, for like a year. And then all my friends started to graduate into debt, and they started to become depressed, and they started to become anxious, and they started to become all these things. I was like, man, this is not glorious, you know? Like, what am I doing? I'm sitting on this business that can provide long-term compounding growth, and the way in which I get to earn that is by helping people become healthier. I don't get it. Like, what's wrong with me, right? So that really solidified my commitment to Shaklee and to myself, to my team. and to my family. And so going in 2015, right before going to Maui, long story short, I'm gonna keep it short now. Our team was doing just like 10,000 in volume. And the next month we doubled our business, went from 10 to 20,000 in volume. And in a year we tripled and quadrupled our business. Just because I made the decision that, I made the decision that was outside of myself. It wasn't about me anymore. It was like, look at how many young people are suffering because they feel like they don't have any other way to do something. And it's all about options and choices, like having just one path is very scary. But what Shaklee gave us the ability to do was to use it as a vehicle to pursue other things that you were passionate about. So my team consists of people who are musically inclined, people who are really good at sports, people who are into fitness, but sometimes they don't care about fitness. They just want to become healthier so they can focus more and study more, on whatever else that they're doing. So just like the variety of people in our group, going from people who speak no English to PhDs, right? It's just like amazing how many people Shaklee can reach. So now, fast forward 2017, our group is going to reach Master Coordinator this year. And then I get to graduate school and just be done with it. But my hope is when I get to Master, that income then will provide the income I need to go to maybe if I want to go to business school, or if I wanted to go to law school, which I do, then I can pay in cash. So I started paying my school in cash since 2015. And I haven't taken out a loan since then. So that's been pretty fun. Anyway, that's my story. And I'm really excited to have you in our team and see you grow out there in Utah. But I know that your reach is global. So I'm excited. It starts with you. It starts, you setting the example. You have the vision. You put in the work, and through that, you will get to inspire many, 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 many people. And so right now, we know that Shaklee has the best products. Like, I know everyone says that, but we can prove it, right? Okay, that's like a thing already. But what Roger Barnett is working on right now is that technology is just as important as the product itself. So we have the products down, 81 patents and patents pending, 124 peer-reviewed scientific journals, proof that our products work, people work, fine. Now we're working on the technology side, and we're saying we want our technology to be the best, just as good as our products, and a reason why people choose Shaklee. So in moving forward, health is going to continue to trend up, because the idea of prevention, although you might be aware that prevention is an idea that is, relevant, there are people in the middle of America who have no idea about prevention, who have no idea that things that are green can make them healthier. You know what I mean? And so living in today's modern world, we feel like we all know what's going on. But moving forward, prevention, health, natural, paired with technology, and just the ability to have exponential growth is Shaklee is positioned in a way where you just can't lose. And even if you build really slowly, you still won't lose. You'll always win, because there's always going to be someone out there who needs what we have, right? We're a 350 product company. We're not just like a one-star product place. So but anyway, I'm just going to stop myself there. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And thank you for having me.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you guys have any questions for her? Tiff, I have a question for you.
Sure.
So we kind of talked about this yesterday when we were on the phone, but for you, how did you sort of get over being a young person in network marketing? Because if you remember, that was my biggest concern. I remember it was after the wedding, at Mary and Peter Paul's wedding. And I was just like, Tiff, this stuff is so cool. I love it, but it's network marketing. So I don't know. And And I'm really grateful for you and your mom who kind of paved the road for me and Tyler and, you know, all these other young people we have on our team to join and have this opportunity. And, you know, I really feel like that came from you setting that example. So I was just curious, like, how did you kind of come to terms with that and then make it cool? Because I feel like it is now.
Yeah.
I want to take all the credit as much as possible, but I'm not the only reason why network marketing is cool right now. Although I'd like to be, you know, like I'd like to, but really the economy has changed and transformed so much in such a way that the ideas that Dr. Shackley had, starting from, you know, 1915 when he developed Vitaly, I know he knew that the only way that Vitaly would be able to reach as many people as possible is through personal transformation and word of mouth. So that idea now, 100 and something years later, has never been so perfect for what we're doing. Where social media, Facebook changed the world. Facebook is the greatest thing that ever happened to us in marketing ever. And we've never had a budget for the Super Bowl commercials. We've never had a budget to spend money outside of people who are actually using the product. So to answer your question about network marketing is this. There's always going to be something about any profession that, you know, sucks, basically. And network marketing has a strong stigma because people choose to, people want to be, you know, want to live up to that stigma. I know it sounds funny, but it's like you try the product for a day and then you want to tell the whole world about it and you know nothing about it. So basically this problem of just amateur sharing and like not being thoughtful about what we're doing. We all make this mistake, is that like we get in, we get excited, and then we want to like share it with everybody, but we haven't even used the product yet, or we haven't even like used it for a day or a week to know how it feels. So then to go out and to have these like experiences that then confirm that network marketing sucks because the 3 people that we talked to all said no, you know. And the way that I overcame network marketing is just I learned that everyone is different, and there are some people who understand the power of network, and there are some people who don't, and the people who don't get to work for you, you know. Like I hire a bunch of people to help me do other things outside of the networking part of what we do. So I know that when you're new, that stigma is still alive, but if you use the products and you believe that it works, and that's something no one can take away from you, or you should never let someone take away from you. And if you're truly sharing out of your heart, you know, there's gonna be objections, but it's like really getting to know why you're here, why you're doing what you're doing, and be able to convey that to people in a way that's not, I never ask anyone to buy anything from me. Never, ever. I never have said, buy this, right? I just share, this is what I'm doing. This is how it helps. These are the merits. And if you're interested, it's available. Never ask anyone to buy, never pressure people to buy something. And I think the stigma just lives here. It's like, I'm not good enough. I don't know if I can do it. I'm not sure if they can do it because I don't believe I can do it. And so that shift happened when I said, I'm going to be here forever, that I believe that this is my place forever. And through this this acts as an umbrella for me to do all sorts of things. There's no boss. There's no like 9 to 5. It's like you make your own hours. There's so much freedom, and you get to be as creative as possible. So it's like, you know, there's no other place that can really happen, I don't think. And so the value of network marketing is powerful, but it's more powerful with a company that has a track record, a company that has a legacy, a company that has a CEO and a chairman like Roger Barnett, who has connections with every Nobel Prize winner in the world. And he's literally, you know, just the experience that he has. There are some companies out there now who some guy won the lottery and decided to make a network marketing company. There's always going to be some bad companies out there, right? So you got to know why you're here. That's why studying the history, the heritage, making sure that you yourself, your values align with what you're doing right here. And if it doesn't match, then it doesn't match. And if you don't want to do it, then don't do it. And so that when you come across people who feel like they don't want to, they're not ready yet, then it's okay for you to let go of that. It's this sense of urgency, you know, this feeling of like, I need everyone to join me. No, you don't. You actually only need a couple of people who then transform and affect a couple other people, who then transform and affect a couple other people, right? It's very simple. So I think I don't really have to say that much about it other than that this economy is in favor of network marketing if you do it as a professional and if you do it out of your heart. But if you do it with a sense that you're going to get rich quick, good luck, because people can see right through that. And the thing that is hard and that is great about social media is that it creates a level of like transparency that you have to be as transparent as possible, and people can see in person if you're not that transparent. So it's all up to you. How do you create the value? How much do you believe in what you're doing? And if you can convey that to people, then you're not going to have a problem. You're ahead. But it's coming to a point right now where more and more people know about network marketing, and it's becoming so much more open than it was when I started. And so like this wave that we're riding right here, this is like, it's going up, and there's going to be like a point where every person knows that network marketing is a good thing, and every person knows that there are some companies that are good and some companies that are bad. That's it. And it'd just be like any other thing. It'd be working for Coca-Cola or for Pepsi. It doesn't matter, right? And so it depends on you. You're the brand. It doesn't depend on the economy or anything else, because the economy is in your favor. And the people now, the open-mindedness is now in your favor. Try network marketing 30 years ago. Good luck. You know, and we have people in our company who have been around for 50 years who are now experiencing the long-term compounding growth of word-of-mouth marketing and transformational marketing and social marketing, and legacies that are being left over and over again because of what we do. So don't worry about it. Y'all just do what you do.
Tiff, I liked how you said, you told me this once and I've repeated it since, how you said like you believe in network marketing, but you believe in Shaklee more than you believe in network marketing. Yeah. And like I totally agree with that, because the fact of the matter is Shaklee's different. And just like you said, everybody says that, but it really is. And we have, you know, all the research and the science to prove it. And we're a product-driven company. We're not just a vision-driven company. Mm-hmm. But we can provide that vision if, you know, you're up for the challenge. So I like that.
Yes, I definitely do believe in network marketing, and I do believe in Shaklee more and more. It's just that you are in a place right now where people have yet to know about Shaklee, even though it's been around for 100 and something years. And there's so much room for growth. And like I said, this layer of transparency, this thing that's happening where people can say, hey, Google, tell me about Shaklee, right? Or like, that stuff is really going to change the perception of Shaklee. So your job now that you're here is to build as much as possible, to be deep rooted as much as possible. When this wave comes where everybody knows who Shaklee is and it's going to be a household name, then you're all set. As you know, we're one of the only companies in network marketing who don't take leads from Google. Meaning when someone Googles Shaklee and orders a product, they send that to the nearest distributor or business leader in the area. Shaklee doesn't take money straight to the company just from Google, right? And so we have very strong philosophy about the distribution of income and of products and of all these things. So it's going to change. It's going to change a lot, and you just have to be in a position where you're ready to grow. You know, where you're ready to be a person who's been in Shaklee long enough to have a testimony about the products. Because if you're not and you're just starting new, then, you know, the leads kind of just roll off of you and roll up, right? So I do believe in Shaklee. I do believe that when we win a Nobel Prize, a lot of the nutritional companies and other network marketing companies are going to fall apart after that. But that's not our problem. Our problem is just to keep doing what we're doing. That's what we get to do.
Do you guys have any other questions? All right.
Thanks, that was awesome.
Okay. Well, thanks so much, Tiff. We really appreciate it. That was awesome.
And if you can,
Thank you.
Thanks, Tiff.
add me on Instagram and just like show me what you're doing, post stuff. I love to see what you guys are doing. I really am paying attention to your group more and more because I feel like you are very important to Shaklee. You are very important for the new generation, this new wave, this and I believe that you're really going to turn things, and it's going to be explosive growth after this, and it's not going to be easy. It doesn't happen overnight, but I believe in you and I want to see you. So add me on Facebook, add me on Instagram, and I'll follow you back, and we'll support each other that way. And hopefully we'll see you guys all at conference this year in Las Vegas, very close to you. There's going to be about 4,000 to 6,000 to 8,000 people depending, and there's only a couple of tickets left. So I'll see you guys there.
Thanks.
See ya. Thanks.
See ya, Tiff.
Bye.